Hi, my name is Gudrun from GA Designs. Welcome to my live quilting chat, Tipsy Tuesday. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here on this lovely Tuesday evening. I'm a little winded because I just sprinted back, forgot something downstairs. And for a GIMP, that's no easy task to sprint downstairs in 30 seconds. But I did it. I'm here. And thank you all for being here. Whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, make sure you check in, say hi in the comments. Make sure you state your name and where you're tuning in from. Tonight, we are going to be continuing with our Wanda Quilt Along. We're going to enter into part 3, which is we're going to put together all of our sashing units. And I'm going to give you some good pressing tips and some subcutting tips. Now, please, we would love it if you use those thumbs up and hearts throughout the show when you like something or enjoy what we're showing you. And of course, comment, because we have a giveaway every show. So the more you comment, the better chances to win. Of course, if you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to our channel, and then you always get notified when we go live. And those of you that are new here, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Okay, so first off, we had a giveaway. So we do 2 every show live. We choose from the live comments. A random commenter is lucky and gets a $25 gift card. We also have a giveaway question at the end. So last show, the producer's complaining about something. Maybe I threw him the paperwork as I ran up the stairs. But our last show, we had a winner. And I asked you a question, have you ever sewn with solid? So the question that we do for the giveaway at the end is also an opportunity for those that can't catch us live. They can also have a chance to win. And the winner from last week is Judy Wolanski. And her answer was, yes, I sometimes use solids. I bought a kit in Switzerland that was all solids and made a multiple disappearing 9 patch that looked Mondrian when it was done. That sounds wonderful. How fun to find a quilt shop in Switzerland. All right, so that was what you were missing. You couldn't put Judy's name up on the screen. But Judy, if you're watching this, send us a quick email, or if we have your on our list, we will contact you and get you that gift card. All right, so we had a great, very productive week last week, and a semi-relaxed weekend, right? Semi. We've been putting the final touches on a big project that you get to hear about a little more tonight, a little bit later in the show. I'm so excited to share it with you that finally it's here. The day is here. I cannot wait. Now, one of the projects that went live last week was Fast and Furious Club. It was our True Hearts table topper. Do I have one here? Yeah, I do. Let me just pull it out for you. So I have mine. This is my pink one. I made 2. So this was our project that went live on the 20th. So those of you in Fast and Furious Club, either in the trimester plan or the 9-month plan, you already have this in your account. This is, of course, you're able to purchase this separately. And it's been fun to see everybody posting photos of their True Hearts toppers. And we always do during my Friday shows. I try and kind of wait a little bit, like 2-3 weeks from when we post a new project, and then we'll do a big slideshow. So we will be doing that for all the True Hearts toppers. Probably not this week, but next week. We'll let everybody get a little more time to get theirs done. But I wanted to show you some unique ones because I love it when you take my patterns and put your own spin on things. So get creative. I always say I totally love rebel behavior. So I encourage that. I encourage rebel behavior with my patterns. So put your own spin on it. So I wanted to show you these 3 that caught my eye just because they were so different and lovely. So this first one is Ingrid's, and she made kind of a rainbow heart one. Love this version using Tula Pinks, looks like, fabrics. And then I saw Karen's, and she did a really cool one, great background, and so I love these fabrics she used for the hearts. It doesn't always have to be all the same or all pink. And then Lori did a totally different spin on it. She turned the hearts into beehives. I just love this so much. So if you don't care for hearts, you can turn it easily into beehives. Very simple to do. So great job, everybody, and I can't wait to see more and whatever else, you know, genius creativity you come up with. All right, is it time to get our Wanda on already? So those of you that are joining us, I was just turning on my iron. I think my iron is unplugged. I will need my iron on if I'm supposed to give you pressing advice. So Mr. Tech, can you please fix that for me? It's nice. All right, so I want to just, those of you that are fairly new and don't maybe know what we're talking about, the Wanda Quilt Along. This, of course, is the cover quilt from my newest book, Stripology and Mixology 2. It's the one hanging right behind me here. And we are on part 3 of this sew along, or quilt along. We do these, so I will give you we do this step by step. So we're kind of all working on this at the same time, and I give you extra tips throughout, kind of like what I do when I'm teaching actual classes. So it's a great bonus to do it kind of together. I know a lot of you have been having a hard time holding back, so a lot of you have finished already, but that's okay. That's all good. But if you're new here and want to find out more, just go to our website, gequiltdesigns.com, and find the blog. So I did include a link in the description of this video, but if you can't find that, go to the website, go to more and blog, and there you will find a Wanda Quilt Along blog post that has all the information that you need to know, where to find the pattern, where to find the videos, the previous videos, and it has links to everything. So just a great place to start, and a way to find everything in one place. So with that being said, let's roll our little Wanda logo. All right, so we are moving on to our part 3 of the sew along, or the quilt along for Wanda. And in this part, we're going to be working on our sashing units. So this is going to take you through steps 12 through 15 of the pattern. So all of your blocks should be done. So I'm going to show you. I got my blocks done, my 10 A blocks and 10 B blocks. They are done. So pretty. I'm so excited about these and can't wait to get it all together. So for my sashing, I'm going to keep these here. For my sashing, I actually chose just a white background because I really want it to stand out from all these light squares to give it some kind of contrast. So these are going to be my background. And then I chose to use this diagonal stripe for my sashing. Now it's a little kind of subtle, so not very strong colors. All those colors, though, harmonize really well with these. And I wanted it to not be too harsh because I wanted these to shine. And because this was more subtle, that's why I chose the white. So this is going to be my sashing. And so once you have all of your background cut out and your sashing cut out, I'll move these out of the way, you're going to start making these strip sets. So we're going to piece our sashing strips. So we are going to start with a background, and we're going to sew the sashing fabric or the accent fabric to the background. So whenever I'm doing strip sets like this, so these are going to be long strip sets, full width, I sew one strip on and then always press, even though you're adding another one to this side, because if you've ever had any issues with wavy strip sets, usually it's the pressing that is the reason. And also it will really help kind of push those seams out so you don't lose anything in the seam allowance. So moving on here, magic of television, I have one sewn together. So when I am pressing these, I obviously like my long pressing station where I can lay my whole strip out straight. So I lay it straight on my pressing station. I kind of pull it so I know it's laying straight. So the first thing you always want to do with strip sets, we are going to be pressing it towards that middle fabric. So I have that on top. And then the first thing you want to do is set that seam. So you want to just go right over it, and that is going to kind of press those threads together, really make it a lot easier to fold over. So then I always use steam, but that's of course a personal preference. So then I'm going to push this out because the seam is going to go towards this top fabric. And so what you want to do here is really avoid using your iron to push that fabric out. You want to use your fingers. So what I do, I use my left hand here and I push, and then I just follow straight with my iron, keeping my strip really straight, and I push that seam out all the way. And of course I have a short table, so I have to kind of move this way. But this way you are both keeping your strip straight. You're pushing that seam out so you're not leaving anything in there in the seam allowance. And you never end up with wavy strip sets, usually straight. So best press, I did not use best press on my fabrics for the background and sashing because we're just cutting straighter grain strips. Nothing is on the bias. So I only used it on my block fabrics. I did not. You can if you want to, but I always feel like if I don't have to, I won't do it. So now I'm ready to sew the second strip on. And you can see how much easier it is to sew once you have something pressed, to sew this strip on instead of, can you imagine if you sewn two on and you were trying to press both seams in? It's just so much harder, and much harder to get all your seams pressed out, and then also harder to keep your strip set straight. So same thing, once I have the third one on, so here I have this one on, I actually flip it over because I'm not going to be pressing towards the background. I wanted to press towards the middle, so I flip it over this way. I repeat the same thing. I go across it, and then we just open and we start the push, and then we just follow with the iron. So once I do that, and you will notice I am just my iron is just going over this seam, because usually when I'm done with the whole strip, I do a little extra trick, because when we're ironing towards one little strip in the middle, sometimes you feel like your strip set gets bunched up like this. So then I go and I kind of use my fingers to push out this way, and I go right across the middle and kind of push out as I go. And then it gets really nice and flat and really nice and straight. All right. Always when you're cutting, when you're doing a project, and before you cut anything, you always want to press your fabrics, because they will react from that first press. So you always want to press before you cut anything. And that is really true with pre-cuts as well. If you're doing layer cakes or anything like that, you want to press before you cut. All right, so now since we're done with the pressing, now we have our strip units done. So I have my strip units done. And so now it's time to subcut our strip units. So I am going to switch it out here and put my cutting mat back, because we can't cut on this. So real quickly, I'm just going to switch it out. And it's a big one, so I have to make room. There we are. So when I'm subcutting, I'm using my Stripology rulers. I like to, because we have long strips like this, I actually like to fold them in half, so I only have like the half width. So this way I can get all my cuts done with just one, laying the ruler on top once. So you want to align your strips on the sides, and then I use the lines on my cutting mat to kind of line them up so they are kind of lined up straight. I'm going to take a few at a time, because I always look at which strip which strip section I am going to be cutting the most of. So for this one, we'll be cutting 3 different sizes from this. So whenever you're following a pattern, what you want to do, and I do this probably automatically when I'm writing most times, is that I will tell you to cut the biggest units first. But it's a really great rule to always do that, because you both kind of save your strip sets and utilize them to the fullest, so wasting less fabric. And then so I'm going to cut 3 here at a time. You don't really want to stack these up because the seams are on top of each other, so they create a little bit of a bump. And then you want to lay your ruler on top. And I always just use the seam lines to line up with the lines on my ruler. So I'm not looking at the edges of the strip sets, but I'm looking at the seam. So I want to have a horizontal line lined up with my seams all the way. And you can kind of move your strip set around to make sure they're all straight. And I have the third one here, was a little up here, so I can just move and kind of move them around until I'm happy with it. If you're scared to do it, you know what? You can always do one at a time. And once you get more comfortable with your ruler, it's really easy. But I always say, you know, look twice and cut once. So use those arrows. We're going to be cutting 11.5 inch and 9.5 inch units. So I know I need to cut more, not for my size. It differs between sizes, but I need more 9.5s than I need 11.5s. So 11.5s, I could only get 3 out of a strip set. So it kind of doesn't utilize my strip set really well. But instead, I'm going to cut 2 11.5, and then I can also cut the 9.5. So I cut through the 0, and then I cut my 11.5. I have it marked with my arrows, and then I have an arrow here because to get a 9.5, I can cut on the edge of the ruler. That is my 21. So I can cut here and really utilize this strip set to the fullest. So I have my, and that is only if your strips are long enough. Now, we all know that fabrics are not always the same width. So sometimes you'll get fabrics that is shorter and you wouldn't be able to do this. But in this case, I was able to do it. So I have my 11.5 and my 9.5, and then I can figure out, okay, how many more of these do I need? And then I cut from there. So I start with my biggest ones, and then the second one, and then the last ones, you can always cut from little scraps, which are the 1.5 inch ones. So we have the 1.5 inch ones. These are going to be our sashing posts. So we're going to piece those. So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to just move this out of the way. So we have the 1.5 inch units, and we're going to take the rectangles you cut from the background, and we're going to sew them on each side. Now also, just like with strip sets, when I'm sewing on each side, here we go, I sew one side and press, so it's much easier to get to this other side. I sew the other side and press. So we have our sashing posts all set here, surrounded by the background. Depending on the size of the quilt you're making, you will tell you how many of these you will need. But you will also have extra rectangles because we are going to be needing those rectangles for our 11.5 inch sashing units. So the 11.5, we're just going to sew one rectangle to one end of these units. So they're going to look like this. So the longer ones are the ones that extend our quilt, that go all the way to the edge. So that's why we need that little bit of background on the end here. So that is all. That is all of our steps for this part, for part 3. I know it goes quick, so you can kind of wait and see, finish those out. Now, like I just talked about, fabrics can be different lengths and different widths. So it's always something that I have to consider when I'm writing a pattern, because I can't count on everybody cutting their strip sets down the most economical way. So I always have to kind of do the math of, okay, what if somebody did this and this and this, and just make sure that they have enough fabric, they have enough strip sets to get all the units out of it. So if you ever wondered if you're really good about cutting, sometimes you might have almost a full strip set left. And so that is probably why. First off, your fabric was probably extra wide, so you were able to get a lot of pieces out of it. And then second, you're really smart about how you cut out of that strip set. So with that being said, I think we are ready for questions. Anything particular? I took some throughout the demo. So everywhere in my book, I tell you which way to press. So check the book. It both has arrows, and then I also write it in the text. Just because some people only look at photos and then other people only read the text. I used to call the sashing posts cornerstones. When did this terminology change? Not about changing anything. It's just what I use. Different people use different things. It's also called cornerstones. I sometimes refer to cornerstones, that being just one piece of fabric, but it's called sashing posts too. Whatever works for you. Oh, this is for the Wanda quilt, hanging right behind me, the orange and black one. We're doing a sew along, and this is part 3. How often do you change the blade in your rotary cutter? You know what? I have to admit, this is something that I always push way too long. So whenever you start feeling that you're pushing, when you have to push too hard to get through that fabric, it's time to change. If you're skipping, your things are not cutting all the way apart, you have a nick in your blade. Time to change. And I have to say, it's every single time when I change that blade and you start cutting and it cuts like butter, I always say to myself, why didn't I do this 2 weeks ago? Why do I push myself and push that blade to the brink? But yeah, as soon as you feel like you have to push, then it's time to change, because if you're pushing too hard to get through the fabric, that means you're also pushing way too hard on your mat, and you might be damaging your mat at the end of the day if you do that for a really long time with a bad blade. So, something to think about. All right. Do you press the accent seams one outward and the other in instead of both away from it? I don't really know what you're talking about, because I showed you a press towards the accent middle strip, but refer to the book again. The pattern will tell you everywhere which way to press so that everything will come together and nest nicely. All right, any more questions on the Wanda? What if you want to cut a plaid on the bias? Can you use best press? Yes, so if you wanted to, if you have a regular plaid and you wanted it to be bias in that middle strip, that's not a problem. I definitely would recommend actually starch it. Starch the whole fabric before you cut it on the bias. Don't starch it after. Before you cut it on the bias, starch it, and then I would just piece it into a really long strip and then cut those strips down into, the width of your background fabric, and then piece your units. Once you have a background strip that's cut on the straighter grain on each side, it's not going to bother at all. But I would definitely, it's easy to do. Easy to do. If I would purchase one Stripology ruler, which would you recommend? It's like asking, who's my favorite baby? No, not at all. I get this question a lot. And I always say, you get the best bang for your buck with the Big XL, because the Big XL has all of the markings that the squared one does and more. It has those 60-degree lines as well. So this is my workhorse. You can cut out a whole quilt with all of the slits. It has the diagonals, both 45 and 60, go in both direction. It has the square up lines from the squared ruler. So I think this one is kind of your workhorse. It's one that you should use every time you are cutting. And then you can think about the other ones. But this one is kind of everything rolled up into one. The only other one that's quite different to use is, of course, the mini, and that's just because the size. So it's really made for really smaller things. The only times I say people you shouldn't consider the XL is if you have a really small sewing space and you don't have enough room for the 18 by 24 mat. And then maybe this one, then maybe the squared ruler would be a better fit. All right, how do I missed that question. Huh? How do you know when it's time for another mat? Oh, a cutting mat. So again, a really chopped up cutting mat will also damage your blades and cause kind of inaccuracies in your cutting. And I don't think I'll have to tell you when it's time for a new mat. If it's not healing back up, you're trying to get those bits of fabric out of there and they're just not going anywhere. Or if there's really big grooves, that means that top layer has been kind of cut out. And then it's just you're getting down to the really hard stuff that's going to damage your cutter. So I don't know. I cut a lot. I go through, I cut a lot. I make a lot of quilts. And I still, mine live on for quite a while, especially, my Creative Grids one I got over a year ago, and that one barely shows any tear. I think that one would be good for 5-10 years. Who knows? I should time it. That's a good point. I should time it. What about stripes for the center of the sashing? Yes, you could definitely use stripes. So that was one of the questions that we will kind of maybe address next week when we talk about the full layout of the quilt, because people were asking if you have real stripes, like which way do you turn the sashing post, because to be in line with the stripes. So this way, even though I have diagonal stripes, you'll see that it will be opposite to either one, because you're going to have long sashing strips this way and then they're going to come down this way. So you can just choose. Lay your quilt out. Do you want this to be this way or do you want it to be that way? It's all a personal preference. I don't really care personally, because if you turn it one way, your eye will naturally go this way. If you turn it the other way, your eye will naturally go that way. So I think it's totally fine. How big is the mini? I have a lot of half-quarter triangle blocks to square up. Oh, it can square up to 6.5 inches. So anything between, 2 inches to 6.5. That's a great use for that mini. Squaring up, it's the best. All right, any more questions on the Wanda? This is fun. I'm seeing lots of great Wandas. I cannot wait until we can do the whole... Yes, Wanda is in Stripology Mixology too. It is the actual cover quilt. So this one here. And of course, what I think is the greatest about the techniques I use for this quilt is that we are making 9 patch blocks, crooked 9 patch blocks, but only using 5 squares. So we make 2 blocks with 10 squares instead of a 9 patch with 9 squares and cut apart. So it's less waste, more fun kind of way of doing things. The G-Easy way. All right, so if we don't have any more questions, so that kind of concludes our part 3 of the Wanda Sew Along, Quilt Along. And so your homework is finishing all your sashing pieces, your strips, subcut them, add the little rectangles on them. And if you want to be patient, wait till next week. I'm going to talk about the layout and finishing of the whole thing. And so I hope you join me then. All right, so moving on, we have lots more to share today, of course. And I'm actually going to start with some of the new stuff in the store. I wanted to start with this because I know a lot of folks have been waiting on these flannels. Now, I just have to say that everything I'm showing here, some of that stuff is already on the website because it came like last week or over the weekend. But this one, everything else I'm showing will not be live until after the show. So you can just sit down, relax, and don't worry about it until after the show. All right? Okay, so this is the Woolies bundle, and I believe this was called, it's like all these blues and greens. And so the quilt in the corner is a supersized Nina that I made out of this pack. So one pack makes that lap size for the supersized Nina. And so these are back in stock and, well, will be right after the show. So check that out if you've been waiting for this colorway. We also got some layer cakes. So the cider layer cakes, I know the bundle we had sold out, but the cider layer cake is here, and that has all the prints in the line, and we have quite a few of those available. Another pre-cut that came in just in time. You know, all fabric deliveries have been so delayed, so I've been waiting for the Valentine one. So this is Be Mine by Stacy Sue. So she's from Moda, and of course all the charm packs are perfect for all of my little patterns. So this is just, it's not the same fabric, but it's going to get the same vibe with the pinks and the reds and the whites. This is Little Katie. Super fun and quick to do. And any of my little patterns would be great for this. I actually had made a little Kira out of Valentine's fabrics. And I had the quilt top. I just needed to add the border. And I swear to you people, I have looked everywhere. I swear, I had it 2 weeks ago. I took it from the warehouse and brought it home. It is lost. I have looked everywhere. So I'm putting out a missing person. If anybody sees a little Kira quilt top anywhere around out of beautiful reds and pinks, let me know, because I really want to find it. You know, isn't it something when you really want to finish something and you can't find it, you get obsessed with it. And yeah, I can't let it go. It's going to turn up. It's going to turn up somewhere in a very strange place after Valentine's Day for sure. I know it. I know it. So we have these, and they would make really great. I mean, even the little Diana that's here on the side, which is so quick to make, would be gorgeous. Really easy and fun little project. All right, so we have a couple of new bundles. This one is called Midnight Hydrangea, and it was one of our pre-orders. Some gorgeous, this is from Studio E, and really gorgeous hydrangeas. One of my favorite flowers. Anybody else love hydrangeas? So it has these beautiful kind of lavenders, and then we even have some pansies, daisies. So beautiful florals in the lavender and purple. Here's the big hydrangea pattern with just little specks of green leaves. And then we have dragonflies. Beautiful. In this lavender, we have, and I love this, the hydrangeas on the tone on tone. I love the shade difference because I talked about this many times when I show you fabric before. I don't like it when all of the colors are on the same level. So you see that value difference. It's just going to really lift your quilt up. And we have the dragonfly. So this is only an 8-piece bundle, but of course you can supplement it if you want more pieces in there with more basics and tone on tones in some of those deep plum, purples, pinks, lavenders. And then of course you could add a light background to it all and make a gorgeous quilt. So this is Midnight Hydrangea. If you pre-ordered this, this has already been shipped to you. Probably almost have it already. So I see somebody asked what was the name of the fabric in the supersize Nina. That is the Woolies. And I don't remember. Oh, Stormy Seas is the color of this pack. Stormy Seas. Woolies fat quarter bundle. So 20 fat quarters, and that makes a lap size quilt. All right. It even includes the binding because you get a scrappy binding out of it. One other bundle that came in, and this is by Ira Kennedy, a new designer from Moda. And he is an artist and makes really unique, has a really unique technique. So kind of with these little dots. So it's really unique and beautiful. I just love this, and especially all of the movement in his fabrics. So I put together a really colorful bundle. Look at this one. How cool is that? So it's kind of an ombre. It is an ombre. It goes from light and then all the way into the darks. And I've talked about this before too. I love it if I were to cut 10-inch squares for a pattern. I cut here, here, and then on this side, it's like you got 4 different fabrics going on. So cool. And then, of course, this would be awesome for that sashing strip for Wanda. So more of the blues. We have the light blue and this one with the green mixed in, so coming into the greens. Some great tone on tones as well with those little bubbles and dots. We got the ombre again in the green, so dark on one side, lighter on the other side. So cool. I love anything unique and different. And then there's a little bit of that orange, red pop. Love this. So this is the kind of a diagonal and the tone on tone. And we also have the ombre in the red orange. So dark on one side, light on the other. Super cool. And then I had to add one yellow that kind of ties them all together because there's yellow bits in everywhere. So I threw that yellow in there as well. So beautiful, beautiful bundle. Very unique. Just something I haven't seen before. So I had to be a part of that. So that is the new bundles and everything new in the store. And any questions on any of that? Should we put up our live winner? Our live winner, random draw from all your comments. Let's see who it is. Let's see. Jill, Patrice, or Patrice. I hope tell me how to pronounce it. But congratulations. You have won a $25 gift card to the GE store. And we will get a hold of you if you see this. Send us a quick email, help@gequaldesigns.com. And we will get that $25 gift card into use ASAP. All right. Any other questions? I know you're waiting. You're waiting, aren't you? So, and now for a very, very special announcement, something we've been waiting for, and I've been waiting to be able to share. I just wanted to remind you that just chill, watch the whole announcement, watch me answer all of the questions because there's no chance that you can get to order anything before the end of the show because it's not there yet. All right. So let me introduce you to the newest GE venture, the Stripology Virtual Retreat. If you enjoyed my Hope and Elvira Quilt Alongs, you're not going to want to miss the Stripology Virtual Retreat. I have designed a brand new quilt pattern called Astrid that we will work on, among other things. Kits are included and we offer multiple different colorways. My demos will feature the Stripology rulers and G-Easy trimmers and stickers, but I will also show you how to use regular rulers. The demos will be yours to watch forever. Just like my in-person retreats in the past, we will have lots of fun with games, recipes, cocktails, playlists, and exclusive lectures and Q&A sessions with me. Limited spots available, so sign up now at gequaldesigns.com. Well, what do you think? Yes, this has been on our radar for a really long time. It's been a long time coming because my in-person retreat was, of course, canceled this spring or early summer, but we wanted to, and we already said that we wanted to do something like this. But we wanted to plan out every detail to make this event extra special and somewhat similar to what we do during my in-person retreats. So even though the instruction and interaction will be virtual through, this is going to be run via Zoom, I did want to have a physical element to the retreat. So I designed this brand new pattern. Her name is Astrid. And, very perfectly named by my daughter, Svana. And it's, of course, a nod to one of my favorite authors, Astrid Lindgren, famous for Pippi Longstocking, of course. So let's put up the full photo of the quilt because you can only see part of it here. So it's a really cool technique and fun, much easier to do than it looks. It looks super hard, doesn't it? But trust me. So we will be working on this quilt. And when you sign up for the retreat, there is a full kit included. So a kit for an Astrid quilt, twin size Astrid. And we have 6 different colorways to choose from. I actually had so much fun pulling together the fabrics for all of these kits because each kit has a focus fabric. So we have the focus fabric that is represented in the middle of the blocks, and then it's also carried out to the border. So then all you have is a background, which is white in this one. It's black in my Tula version, and I kind of changed that up a little bit. That one has the real calming part of the quilt, and then we have all the fun colors in the little strips that I pull from that main print. So the binding is of course included as well, like I said, for a twin size quilt, which is 65 by 91, I believe. Now let's check out some of those different kits that we have to offer. So the main one is the Aquarelle. That's the quilt hanging behind me, and this is the main print is from Art Gallery Fabrics. Really, really gorgeous floral, and so by Katrina Rochella, one of my favorite designers with Art Gallery. And so then I pulled lots of fun basics with different textures to work with that. Then we have the Tula Pink kit, and that's we're using the main print is the lemurs from Line Work. So this is a mixture of line work and true colors. So we have the lemurs, and then we have the black from Line Work, and then the stripe will be the binding, and then you have the 8 colors that are the colorful part of the quilt. And then we have Moody Bloom. This is of course by Moda, by Create Joy Project. Love this main print. So it's got that black with a floral. There'll be a white accent to that, teal binding, and then the colors in the pink and the teal, the green, and the purple, kind of pulling from the main print. Then we have, next one up is the Wild Beauty. Wild Beauty is another Art Gallery quilt, Art Gallery print by Pat Bravo. And with this one, because it's got that lighter background, I chose a gray, kind of a charcoal or graphite gray color. That will be the background color, and then that beautiful pink for the binding, and then all the really cool colors, beautifully bright colors from the main print used throughout. And then for somebody that wants a little more toned down, not so much color, we have a Stonehenge version. So we have this beautiful tile print. We have a dark Stonehenge and a lighter. So this is a darker version with that darker main print, and all of the Stonehenge colors kind of pulled from that main print, and a stripe. And then the light Stonehenge just is the same print, but a different colorway. So it has a little bit more of the lavender. Can we switch to the light one? Yeah, that one. So you see a little bit more lavender. We're using the same accent colors because they are all from the same line. Now, like I said, it makes a twin size quilt. So if you are interested in joining us for the retreat and you would like to make a larger quilt, the pattern will also offer a kind of a queen king size, which is a 97-inch square. And so if you're interested in that, when you do place your order for the retreat, just put in the notes that you would like to get a second kit, because two twin kits make the queen size. So you just need one more fabric, and we can talk through that. So either put notes in your order or send us an email if you're interested in making a larger quilt. So we will manually add it and make sure everything is taken care of. Now, along with the Astrid kits, you will also receive a kit for a table runner, a brand new little pattern using charm squares that we'll also be working on. There's also going to be, of course, the patterns included, thread, ruler stickers, some exclusive retreat merchandise, and some surprises in your retreat shipment. Now, we will ship the retreat packages about 2 weeks before the event, so you can choose whatever shipping carrier we offer. But I do have to recommend either DHL or UPS if you are shipping internationally, just to make sure, because our USPS shipments have been taking a really long time and there's just no guarantee. They shut down the tracking of all international for us, so there's no way for us to file a claim if a package is lost. So I just don't recommend it these days. So we want it to make sure that it arrives in time. So that's the whole part of the physical part, because we want to be able to have something physical that we all participate in. The dates are March 24th through the 27th. So we're hoping, of course, to have people from all over the world join us. And our biggest challenge was, of course, the time difference. So the retreat will take place over Zoom and will start officially Wednesday, March 24th at 4 p.m. Central Time. And then we will finish on Saturday, March 27th at 4 p.m. So this timeline is really the same as what I've done with my in-person retreats in the past. So the actual demos for the techniques, like for the asterisk quilt, for the other table runner, they will be recorded. And so you will get to get those videos into your account like right after I do them live with you during the retreat. So you can just go to your account and there is a video there with all the instructions. So you get to have those forever. The interaction between the formal demos, we're not going to record those because they're just going to be a whole bunch of fun, of course. We will be doing, just like my in-person retreats, having games. We'll play some games. We'll have maybe some cocktail demos, some snacks, some recipes, of course, a brand new playlist. You will get to meet and get to know lots of new people, new friends, because we will be breaking down into smaller groups throughout the retreat. So I will also be delivering a brand new lecture just for the exclusive lecture on one of the evenings. We always have evening entertainment. And then one of the evening will also be a Q&A session where you get to ask me anything. So lots of fun and kind of a little bit of it that will be reminiscent of my in-person retreats. We're trying to have as many parts of it be that so that we can connect on different levels. But I'm really, really looking forward to it. So let's take some questions. I know there's questions. It's the twin size asterisk right here on the wall. The Tula version right in the corner. And so that's the twin size. Now the pattern is exclusive for the retreat. Of course, I will publish it, but not until after the retreat. So then it will be available for purchase then. Everything is a package. So yes, you purchase the retreat, it's a package of all the stuff because we want that physical part of it. So how many hours each day? The Zoom will be open from 8 in the morning until 10 at night. We will break it down. There'll be a formal schedule where you will know exactly when there's something taking place, but then we'll break down into smaller groups. And so you can have it, you can be open, you can be on as much as you want. So it's all up to you. But I don't really start my demos until 9:30 in the morning, kind of similar to what I did with the sew-alongs in the past. So if you are in a totally different time zone, it is kind of still doable, kind of. But again, those will be in your account. So if you oversleep or whatever, wherever you are, you can always go back into your account and watch those videos. Will Mr. Honey Producer be at the retreat? Of course, he's running the show. So he will be a part of it, a part of the games as well. I like Dark Stonehenge too. How are we supposed to choose? So when you purchase, you have to choose your kit. So, and of course, we have limited numbers of each one. So there might be a chance that one is sold out. So then just pick out another one. And you can always put in the notes that you preferred a different one. We will try, but again, these are the kits that we have secured. There's no guarantees in this fabric world to get more of whatever fabric. Where is the retreat listed on the website? It's nowhere right now, but it will be under workshops and lecture. Not workshops and lectures. There's virtual. There's a virtual. You can also just go to what's new, and it's gonna be right there. All right. The retreat, whole thing is $395, and that includes all the big all the kits and all that other stuff. How many yards for backing is needed? 5.5 yards for the twin size. 5.5 yards for the twin size. All right. Any other questions? Left, center, right? Oh, do you mean 7-Eleven? 7-Eleven? We're going to do versions of this, of course. There's no way to play that exact game virtually, Marlis, but we will play some awesome games. Believe me, we've been planning and having fun. And Mr. Honey Producer had some input. He's going to be a part of it. Will we be able to watch on TV like YouTube or only on a computer? So, nope. Well, if you can stream to a TV, like you can sometimes connect your TV, like mirror to a TV, your computer. So it will be through Zoom. So you can connect through Zoom on a computer, on an iPad, on a phone. So either one of those. If you have one of those smart TVs where you can go online, I believe you can access meetings, Zoom meetings. If you can just go to a browser, I'm not sure. Don't take my word for it. But it's not going to be on YouTube or Facebook. However, we are putting together a Facebook group, a very closed Facebook group for just the retreaters so that we can kind of share during the retreat. Will there be a yoga session? You never know. You know I always have some physical activity in my retreats. If you've been to my in-person ones, even sometimes in just classes, I do some stretch sessions. You never know. It might be a possibility. Names of the bundles. So they are all, you will see all the photos when you go to pick it. There's just a drop-down menu you can pick, and it has all the photos, so you can look at all the photos first of the actual prints. Like I said, I have 2 quilts made, working on one more out of the Wild Beauty, and I don't think I'll have all of them sewn before retreat, but we'll have a sample of how it will look, which I'm excited. These are going to be gorgeous quilts, whatever kit you choose. And if it's not your cup of tea, give it to somebody else. Donate. It's all about the fun, isn't it? So we have limited spots. So once they're gone, you can sign up for notifications if like somebody cancels or something, but we have to keep it to a limited spot. So we'll see. I mean, I know this is not for everyone, so that's why we wanted to roll it out. If this is going to be something that's going to be super popular, we will, of course, do a second round sometime when I can secure enough fabric. Dates again, March 24th through the 27th. Saturday is the 27th. It's the week before Easter week. So kind of a great timing. And remember, it's not on the website yet. Not until we cut off tonight. Not until we totally cut off tonight. Then it will be there. So any questions, anything, help@GEQuiltDesigns, email us. Check it out. Now, if you are, like, obviously, you choose your shipping. If you're local, you can always choose local pickup to pick up your retreat package. We will email you when they're ready for pickup, which won't be until about 2 weeks before the retreat, because we want everybody to kind of get it at the same time. And yes. Dory's asking, will the pattern be available after the retreat? Yes. So it will be available to purchase as a single pattern in the future. So, okay, any other questions? When can we sign up? As soon as the show is over. As soon as the show is over. So should we end the show? Are you going to put that question up? Miss Sarah is asking a very important question. If you've been to my previous retreats, have you secured enough malted milk balls? Well, we'll see. We'll see. Can you do a retreat without buying a kit? No, we have put this together as a unique package, so that's how we're going to do this one this time. This go around. All right. Somebody's talking about having to work, and somebody's already saying I'm calling in sick. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, if you're working remotely, you might be able to have 2 devices going. Don't blame me, though. Don't make your bosses call me. So if we miss sign up, we won't be able to get any patterns until later. I'm sure you're asking about the Astrid pattern. No, the Astrid pattern will not be released until after the retreat. So somewhere early April, it will be released. How's my knee? You know what? It's getting better every day, but it's like sometimes it's like you feel like you're taking 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. But at least it's that way around. It's not the other way around. So like yesterday I was frustrated because it was just feeling really stiff and I didn't feel like I was making progress. And then today it's better. So that means tomorrow will feel a little, maybe 2 days forward, 1 day back. But you know what? It's not, I don't have any pain. It's just the mobility. But my PT guy said that I was already ahead of the game. So I'm happy about that. I'm just a little impatient. Just a little. A lot. I just want to be clear, but it's going to take time. Like he said, he explained it really well. My personal trainer said it's like a cake that's in the oven. The edges on the outside might look done and feel great and stiff, but then the inside is still a little gooey. So I got to make sure it's baked through and healed throughout. So how much added? I don't know exactly how much. I don't remember. It's somewhere between 8, 10 yards, 8, 9, 10 yards. I'm not sure. But that's just one of the kits. You also have another kit and some other groovy things in there that you will be getting. All right. I don't think we have any more questions. Are we enjoying our new base? Yes, we are. It's we feel like it's shrinking. It's shrinking already. That's not good. But we are always getting more, storage, shelving and stuff. So it's feeling really good. It's functioning really well. We're doing really good. Love it. Is the backing is not included. You have any kind of options for your back. Connie says, are you going to be making kits afterwards with the fabric and the pattern? Yes, I said when I was ordering this fabric and making all these combinations, I said, I think we're going to be kitting this up for a really long time after the retreat because it's just, first off, it's really fun for me. And then I'll be like, whenever I see a main print that would be good, I'm going to want to put together a kit. So I do think so. I think we're going to be having some kits afterwards, hopefully. All right, skill level for this quilt, you know me. With Wanda, I put 3 dots on the Wanda, which means that it's an intermediate pattern. But all of you saw how easy that was because all of my patterns are very, very doable. So I would put the same label on this one, intermediate, but if you made 2, 3, 4 quilts, you're good. You're going to have the videos if you have the tools. Now I will be showing, of course, using the Stripology XL ruler. And then if you don't have that ruler, I will show you how to use regular rulers as well. And that's going to just make all the difference. So all the little tips and taking you through it, don't worry about it. Any travel plans for 2021 or 2022? Well, we can't go anywhere yet. I still have a Iceland tour on my calendar that was postponed from last year in July. I'm crossing fingers and hoping that we will be going. We will be going, right? Just keep saying that. I do have another tour scheduled for December. That is the German Christmas market and Iceland, Northern Lights. So that one I will, I haven't gotten the flyers yet. Once I have the flyers, we will definitely put that all up on the website. and tell you about that. Those are the only travel plans I have for 2021. There will possibly be a cruise for 2022 if we can figure out a date that we can work out. Otherwise, everything is on hold, everybody. So you got me twice a week until then. Which rulers will we need to use? I'll be using the XL, and then I'll be using the mini for the runner. So those two, ideally, the trimmers, if you have them, and of course the stickers. You will be getting a sticker sheet. The Fruity Fiesta stickers, you will receive these in your kit, in your packet. I don't really just want to call it a kit because it's really a packet. Whole package. All right. Well, I think if you have any more questions, that please either post them in the crew, or if it is specific that only I know, email me or help@GEQuiltDesigns. We will be happy to answer any questions you have. And like I said, the retreat will be on the website right after we get off air here. But we're going to, of course, finish with a final question, a giveaway question. All you have to do is answer this in the comment. Answer this question in the comment. And you will automatically enter to win $25 gift card. So, which colorway of the Astrid quilts appeals to you the most? I can't answer that because I love them all. I put them all together and I tried to do a variety of taste levels and styles, but I still love them all. So, which is why I'm probably going to be making them all. It's a fun pattern. All right, so I think you all want me to get off the air. So we will randomly pick a winner and announce it next week from this giveaway question. Our next show will be next week. Our next Tipsy Tuesday will be on Groundhog's Day, February 2nd. We'll be already in February. February 2nd, Groundhog's Day, 7 p.m. Central will be our next Tipsy and our final Wanda Quilt Along, part 4. And then, of course, I'll be live this coming Friday. Our Happy Friday show will be January 29th at 3 p.m. Central Time. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm so excited that you are enthusiastic about our virtual retreat. I will catch you next week. Hopefully, I'll see you Friday, too, for a Happy Friday show. But that's it for us. See you next time.